Well, let's get more on this from Mark Meirowitz. He's a political analyst and professor at the State University of New York Maritime College. He joins us now live from New York. Thank you very much for joining us. So, is Pence a tainted man? Does he really stand much of a chance?
I think he does. He's very popular among evangelicals. He was the vice president of the United States. But one issue with Pence is the fact that he's the one who criticized Trump for his actions on January 6th. And that put him in sort of not very great favor with the Trump base. Now, of course, in order for Pence to go forward, he's got it's kind of like a game like Monopoly or a game board. First, there's Trump. He has high numbers. Then there's DeSantis. And then the others, and Pence. So it's kind of an order here, and we have to look and see how this will develop. Does Trump remain in the race? You mentioned the number of his legal issues. If he steps out, the numbers shift. And then you have DeSantis. Well, then you have Pence and Haley and Tim Scott and others. By the way, we've had a couple of defections already. Chris Sununu dropped out. Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State, has dropped out of the race. We're going to see more dropouts. We'll see some coming in. But as you say correctly, it's a very, very long group, a very big group. But Trump still has the overwhelming numbers.
And what a beauty contest it's going to be. But who do you think is a serious contender for Trump?
I mean, right now it's DeSantis. But I think what we need to also mention is President Biden, because, you know, is he going to be the nominee? He's had a lot of issues lately that show that he's very frail. He fell at the Air Force Academy graduation. He had a problem with the G7 summit. Biden-Harris. So you got to kind of balance that out. Who is the one that the Republicans are going to pick to beat Joe Biden? So there are a lot of moving parts here. I think that Pence is still a strong contender. You also need to mention that Chris Christie is going to join the race. So there are a couple of possibles here. We call them dark horses that maybe could come up in the. But Pence is popular. But he's not necessarily popular with the base of Trump because he had some harsh words to say about Trump. He said about him that his reckless words on January 6th endangered Pence's family and everyone in the Capitol. That will put him definitely on a very, very unfavorable list for the Trump base if Trump should drop out. Republican politics, actually, Trump, it's interesting because when Trump started off, when he came down the escalator originally, if you remember, when he announced his candidacy, he didn't have very big numbers. And then he overwhelmed the entire field. So the danger here, as you've just stated, is that as the field, as this beauty contest grows, with all of these contestants and these candidates, Trump becomes more powerful, not less powerful. I know that's kind of ironic and it's counterintuitive, but Trump is a phenomenon in the Republican Party in the sense that no matter what he's accused of, he's been indicted in New York, he has an investigation on classified documents, he has a civil case for sexual harassment that he actually lost. Notwithstanding all of that, he continues to persevere and his numbers continue to be very strong. So I think that does continue, but we should not lose track of Biden's chances. A lot of Democrats are very, very concerned about Biden's health, his frailty, and his potential to be a very, very old president if he's going to run again, and his age is a concern. And also, Harris is his vice president. I mean, to be very candid about it, I think many Americans are quite concerned about her performance in office, which has not been very effective and very strong.
OK, political analyst Mark Meirowitz, thank you very much for joining us on the NewsHour, live from New York.
Thank you.